All right, welcome. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Skin Church. It's Wednesday, January 8th, and today we're going to talk all about energetic hygiene for beauty professionals and any conscious woman that is out in the world. So take a minute to get settled if you're watching this live, and if you are on the replay, hello to the future. I always love talking to future you. And I'm going to do a tiny bit of housekeeping in terms of just making sure that I'm live and sharing the stream out to Facebook or maybe somewhere else. All right, let's see what we got here. So my classes are always an energetic activation. That's why we call them Skin Church. I know church is a word with a lot of triggers and heaviness, and I do apologize for that. It doesn't seem to trigger me, which I am very sensitive towards, but I know for other people have given me feedback that it does. And what I will say to that is that it's time for us to reclaim the temple and the concept of worship, sacredness, divinity of the self. So Skin Church, and this might even be even more triggering. Skin Church is about being self-centered. How does it get any better than that? All right, let's see if I'm live. YouTube crashed. No, I might not be live. No, I am live. Okay, copy link, Facebook. Okay. Hi. Hello, beautiful. So today's topic is energetic hygiene, as I mentioned. And if you're someone who works in the public, specifically with other women, even more specifically touching them, touching their head, touching their face, having heart-to-heart connection, listening and guiding, and you often find yourself with a sense of burnout or tiredness or heaviness, or you're picking up on anxieties or feeling like you are dreading seeing people, any of those spectrum, if you're experiencing any of those on a regular basis, this episode is going to be really powerful for you. So these are energetic activations. Have a glass of water. We'll be talking about the role that a great activated glass of water will play in energetic hygiene. Maybe grab a notebook. I'm going to teach high-level concepts. I'm going to give you some great takeaways, and I'm going to have some fun doing it. So I'm so excited to have sort of settled into this new understanding of my mission, which is to support the beauty professional to bring this information and this work to their clients so we can create an incredible ripple effect and change the way 1 million women feel about themselves when they look in the mirror. How does that sound? Speaking of that, I find it to be so interesting that the beauty industry, specifically aesthetics, in which I am a stone cold subject matter expert, award-winning esthetician. I was mentored by the formulator who discovered the peptide for the skincare industry, which means I'm an expert in everybody's product line. I'm an expert on ingredients and formulas. I have my own brand in addition, but it really just, it strikes me. And I want to have this Skin Church be a two-way flow. So chat, ask questions, let me know when I ask if you want to. And I won't be able to answer while I'm live, but I will come back and we'll keep the conversation going. But it just strikes me that everything that we're doing is about the way that we look and feel, right? It's about the way we look, number one. And then, it's creeping in that more and more we're talking about the way that you feel. But it seems like the mirror never gets mentioned. Have you ever noticed that? How is that? That we never really talk about how we feel and what we see when we look in the mirror. Has anybody ever asked you that? Has any beauty professional ever asked you, how do you want to feel when you look in the mirror? So that was just a little nugget to consider and to mull over and to roll around in your mouth and in your brain. And that's another invitation of being my student or listening to my words and spending your very important time and attention, that these are all my interesting points of views and awarenesses. And I invite you to bring your own points of views and awarenesses to the party. Nobody needs to be wrong or right in this space. We're just opening up a field where we can look at things in different ways. And by doing so, by changing our perspective and by widening and expanding our perspective on all of these things that we have been experts in, because I usually serve another expert. I like to call myself the expert's expert. You're already an expert in these things, but let's open them up. Let's go into the center, open that center, walk through and go into another center. Let's keep going deeper and deeper into these things that we have already been talking about and thinking about for so many years. And let's look at them in a whole new light. And that's where the magic is. Okay. So energetic hygiene, what is energetic hygiene? I think most of us, when you hear it, you're like, oh yes, I need that. I really feel like when I talked about it, there was a certain group of estheticians that were like, oh yes, I'm already doing that to some degree, or I need that. So write in the chat if that is you, or if it's a brand new concept, let me know. Let me take a little sip of water. And this brings me to another thing that just really strikes me as odd that we never talk about, and maybe it's just because this is a leading edge that is starting to create a wave, right? And there's a tipping point that's happening where energy is just like, oh yeah, okay, we can talk about that now. Like the quantum science, there was a Nobel Prize given 2 years ago, I think it was in 2022, by the three scientists who completed Einstein's work and were able to show that we live in a non-local universe. Non-local means that it's not there when you're not looking at it. I mean, that's a grossly simplified explanation, but the science has grown in the last 10 years. And I think that holistic wellness and energy and things that were woo-woo are now having scientific explanations. And I think people are more open to all of it. So that's good news. The other good news, if you're working with me or being guided by me or mentored by me, coached by me, certified by me, is that I've been an expert in this my whole entire life. So I've been studying consciousness and energy since I was a little girl. I read Autobiography of a Yogi, for instance, when I was between the ages of 10 to 12 years old. I can't remember the exact date, but I've been immersed in these kinds of teachings and these understandings for so long that I am, really excited to talk about it with you and kind of take advantage of this tipping point, especially when it comes to professional aesthetics, because I hope this doesn't offend anybody. And I want to just keep it really real with me, with you and me. I have to keep it real with me first and foremost. And I've said this for a decade. I've actually said this for a decade, and I see it coming even more and more true that the beauty industry as we know it is dying. Professional aesthetics, there is a die off. And anytime there is a die off and anytime there is a change, right? It's like we're systems. We have to exfoliate, we have to let go of the dead skin cells so that the fresh new skin cells can come up, right? So we can think of it just like that, like even at the industry wide, that there is an exfoliation happening and it has been happening. And there's many different reasons. But a lot of the reasons are that the professional aesthetics standards, we don't have a standard, right? It's different from each state. So education widely differs, and the education that we're told and sold is old information. It's old science, and a lot of times it's just not true. Not to mention the fact that professional skincare as a category of skincare products is made up. There's no regulation on that. So the internet started the die-off, and then COVID really empowered women to become their own beauty expert. I also was part of that whole wave since I did the world's first facial in a box professionally led with professional products and professional tools back in 2018 because I saw that the consumer is empowered to become our own beauty expert. There are problems with that, of course, right? Because she is getting a ton of bad information on YouTube or TikTok or wherever it is, because the majority of the skinfluencers that have stepped forward are not professional estheticians. And we do know a lot more than a certain faction of us. If you're hanging out with me, then I know that you're the top of the top, that you're highly educated and you are perfectly positioned to be your client's most trusted advisor, expert, and guide. So the industry is experiencing a die-off, and that's really why I am stepping forward with my certification in the light lift and the program. That's a 6-month program that I am offering. I think it's going to be such a game changer for a certain set of you. And the exciting things that you get to have and learn inside of that program, I can't get into it right now because it'll take me off track, but definitely sign up for my free training that's coming up this Sunday, the 3 mirrors of personal and professional radiance. And I will give you an overview and a preview of what the program is going to be like. But back to energetic hygiene and back to the die-off of aesthetics. So we know that there are lots of crazy world events going on. So we know there's a lot of stress and inflammation. We know that stress creates inflammation. We can get into the science of that if you'd like, but let's just for now, for brevity and for the sake of me flowing, stress causes inflammation. Clients are more stressed than ever. We have extremely short attention spans. We're all on our devices. We've got a million things happening, and a lot of us are running on empty, including practitioners. So even if, clients are canceling because of their budget and, things are changing and what once worked like a thriving lash extension business isn't working anymore because, trends are changing and budgets are changing and all these things, I really want you to hear that there is a giant opportunity to serve your client in a whole new way. And the energetic hygiene is going to be the first place that we start. So if you're not an esthetician and you're not a professional, you're not touching people doing makeup or doing something where you're face to face and hands to hand, that you're just, maybe working in hospitality or you're working with the public in any way, or you're just going to the grocery store, energetic hygiene is really important. The whole business of skin is based around cleaning the skin from the dirt and from the dirt and the pollution and the dead skin cells that are happening during the day, right? That's why we wash the skin and we keep the barrier nice and nourished so it can turn over and supporting the lower layers of the skin, the dermal layer. For our cellular turnover, we know that all is starting and that all happens actually, no matter how fancy we get, no matter what kind of tools that we have and serums and the, the things that we're doing, right? I've got all the things here. No matter what we're doing, it's all happening at the sink, in the shower, or in the bathtub, right? It's all happening with hygiene. So think about that for a minute. Actually, we are in the skincare people anyways. We're in the hygiene business, and everybody else that's not in skincare, because we're all just people and we're all just women. Most likely, if you're watching me, and if you're not, then welcome. We all have to have hygiene every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day, We have to brush our teeth. We have to floss our teeth. We have to do the dishes. We have to wash the clothes. Hygiene is literally the thing that we're doing all day long and all the different liminal, like, transitional times during the day, right? You wake up, then you do that, then there's breakfast, and there's other things, and then you go to the bathroom, and it's just like it's happening throughout the day. And that's another thing that is just like seems like kind of a big aha moment, but why are we not talking more about hygiene, especially when everybody is so stressed out? All right. So if you have, I'm going to talk really just directly to the esthetician right now because that's who I'm ramping up to serve at a very deep, high level. If you've ever come home from your day and just felt heavy, if there's anybody ever been racing thoughts, like you've just felt like, you were just dead tired, those are some signs that you might not be practicing enough energetic hygiene in the treatment room. And we'll get to that. But I really want to talk about how this is starting at home, right? Everything is starting at home. So the things that we're going to talk about during this episode are energy as a two-way street, right? We're taking energy in and we are releasing energy out, whether that's through our hands, through our eyes, through our intention setting, through our grounding or non-grounding. I want to talk about energy versus empathy. So how do we hold space for our clients? How do we create that container? And how do we serve without absorbing? And how energetic hygiene can really empower you to be fully present without depleting you. That's the goal, right? And throughout all of this, it's all about using rituals as these anchors in these transitional moments throughout your day, in these liminal spaces. So every time you switch an activity, every time you walk through a new doorway, you've transitioned into a whole new little reality, right? So we want to harness those doorways. We want to harness those anchors and create rituals in that we're doing every single day that keep our motor clean, that keep our well filled, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. We know all of that, but we need to take it off the meme graphic and we need to bring it into everyday reality. Because another thing that strikes me in personal development and all of the different things is like we're reading the books, we're watching the YouTube videos, we're doing the things, but when it really comes down to it, it comes down to onboarding it into a lifestyle. It has to happen every single day, all the time, like going to the bathroom or breathing. So that's why we want to bring it down to this like hygienic level where it's very simple. We can do it. It's not too esoteric. We don't have to, bend and staple ourselves into somebody's, long list of how, what the best way to be or do would be. We just start doing it, okay? Okay, so I can't see what's going on. I have no idea how everybody is doing, but energy as a two-way street. Let's start there. So anytime that we're working with our client and we're sitting in our consultation space, which we should be sitting with them every single time we give them a facial. That is not just for the first time facial. That is not just to be breezing in and jumping on the bed. That face-to-face interaction is one of the most powerful liminal transitional spaces that you have available to you as a professional esthetician and beauty healer. Because even if you don't know that you are a beauty healer, you are doing hands-on healing. Now, I can get a whole riff going on that about the biology of belief and how the placebo effect actually is how a lot of reality is created, and it's been sold to us as something negative, but it's actually the most powerful ability that we have. I will be meeting with Bruce Lipton next week, so stay tuned on that. But that face-to-face time, right? We're listening. We're doing heart-to-heart connection. Now, if you're not doing all of this, then just understand that this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. If you want to be a high-value esthetician and beauty healer that makes terrific money and has lots of time and space to live the beautiful life that you're selling to your clients, then this is the way. So energy as a two-way street. So that time, that's when the hygiene is really important, right? Because you need to come into that space, really being able to position yourself in that heart-to-heart space and be able to really listen and ask questions and give your client an incredible amount of presence. How does that feel, right? When's the last time you were given an incredible amount of presence? I hope that you feel that today with my video, but presence over products, that's a number one higher self beauty rule, secret, idea. But that is the first place that your energetic hygiene really matters. And it starts at home, right? It starts at home if they were the first client. And if they're the third client, it not only started at home, it was continued in between clients, right? So how do we start this energetic hygiene at home? Well, I'm going to give you a tool and a tip that I have been teaching for a million years. And it's going to sound so simple that you might just discount it, but please don't, because this one thing can change your whole life. And that is to always shower or bathe at night before you go to sleep. Dun, 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 dun. Does that seem obvious or what? But I can't tell you, and I've been in the beauty business for 20 years and I have thousands of clients, how many people do not do that or feel like maybe that wouldn't even be able to be possible for them. Because this is all about your schedules and the way that you've set up your habits at home. A really great benefit of showering and bathing at night is that you do your skin, you wash your face while you're in the shower or the bath. So no more standing at the sink. I am never going to be standing at a sink to do my skincare. I'm never going to stand at a bathroom sink to do my skincare, right? Because what is the bathroom for? What is the shower for? What is the bath for? It's for cleansing. It's for releasing. And while it's fine to wash your face there, if you're washing your face there and then doing your routine at the mirror, that mirror doesn't have energetic hygiene on it. So there's many layers to this, but let's go back to every single night you take a quick shower or quick bath. And I teach that you use a small amount of salt. This is my favorite salt. This is Nano Baja Gold. And I always have a big bag nearby. Use a little bit of salt, just a pinch, and while you're in the shower or while you're in the bath with the water, now I teach the fourth phase of water, quantum biology. That is something I have been an expert in for literally years, and that's something you're also going to be hearing a lot about. We need to start onboarding that in aesthetics. Don't let the biohackers and the biohackers and the anti-agers just walk away with it. We want to start onboarding that ourselves. So water is so amazing, and I'm going to teach you all about that. You want to take a small amount of salt and pass it ceremonially, right? We're at Skin Church now. There's wine and crackers, ceremonial for some. And here we're using salt and water and the mirror and our eyes and our hands. We're going to take it from the top of our head. We're going to pass it ceremonially, just like let it kind of fall over. And you're going to say, I'm going to actually put my salt in my water. That you would be in the shower and you're going to say, I transmute to harmless all of the essences of all of the consciousnesses that have been removed are being removed and will be removed this day. And then you can say, Father or Source, remove them at your will. Now, I'm always working with a higher power. This is higher self beauty, where we are a little fractal of divine source energy. That is the framework and the setting that I have. If that doesn't work for you, you are welcome to choose anything. I do like to say Father. I have a relationship with my Heavenly Father. So you choose what works best for you. Some of my clients say universe, some say source. But why that's important is you're sort of acknowledging that you're part of a huge system, right? You're part of nature. And you can ask for help and just acknowledge that you're part of that larger system. And then let the water, which is a powerful solvent, by the way. What is a solvent? It dissolves. Salt, that brings us into alchemy, and we could go to we can go in a whole other rabbit hole with alchemy, but water is a solvent. So think about, the ocean where the rocks get beaten, and anytime there's big rivers where the water starts carving away. Water is a very powerful cleansing agent. That's why we use it. And we are made of water, and that's why it's important. So energetic hygiene and this energy as a two-way street starts with you going to bed fresh. And it just is a non-negotiable for me. I could never get into bed with a body that has been, what is that word? A body that has been exposed. That is the word. The word is exposed. I could never go to bed with a body that had not been rinsed of my people exposure. Now, of course, we are dissolving also the dirt and the pollution and the sweat and the shoes and the clothes and, the polyester yoga pants that we're all wearing, which I'm really making a huge intention to turn that around. Just getting all of that off your body and going to bed fresh is going to help you sleep better, and it's going to help you in every area of your life. So that's the number one non-negotiable energetic hygiene practice for everyone that I know. I've written a huge blog about it. There's lots of information. My free Radiance Reset program has all of my rituals, and I go through the shower ritual in more detail. So you are welcome to go over and get that. It is a workbook. It is for personal use. It is not for professional certification. It does not have any licensing to teach it, but it will get you started because, again, if you're going to be working with me, you're going to be onboarding this as a person and as a woman, first and foremost, and then you will be able to more powerfully share that with your clients. Okay, so we're in the consultation. We've got energy as a two-way street. Your heart to heart, there is a whole, you think that this aura and this space around you is empty? Think again. Not only is it is a plenum of plasmatic waves and scalar energy and all sorts of other things, there is also a biofield all around you. So we know that hormones, we know that pheromones, and we know now that inflammation is actually communicable. Why are we not talking about that? That's another thing that I think is ridiculous that we're not talking about. Maybe I'm just the person asked to talk about it. We have a biofield. So I teach bioenergetic beauty. I have so many new concepts and names, though. I don't like to overwhelm you all, but it is bioenergetic. There is a biofield, and hormones, stress hormones, inflammation, cortisol are communicable. That means you can pick them up from your clients. So number one, that's it. You want to talk about energy. Yes, everything is made of energy. Yes, the chair that I'm sitting on, if we were to look down, to the smallest level, there would be football size spaces in between each atom. Everything is made of energy, but that is something that the fact that stress hormones are communicable, that should be really giving you a big, like, oh my God moment. So if we have energy as a two-way street and we are both these systems and you're talking to this person and you're listening, you're active listening and you're giving an incredible amount of presence, you might be hearing a lot of pain and stress. In my years of being practicing esthetician, I do still give facials to my top 1% clients, but I don't have a practice that is open to anybody anymore, unless you're doing VIP weekends with me or something like that. Or you're training with me and you're learning it from me. Um, but think about how many life events that we go through our clients with. The weddings, the affairs, the deaths of family members, the deaths of animals, the stress about work, the divorces, the breakups, the stressful children, the the person who has an addict in their family. We're listening. And not only are we taking in the energy of the voice, which is a frequency, we're taking in the whole biofield, not only from that heart to heart connection, but we're going to go in then and put them on a table and touch their head. So all of your thoughts and your feelings and emotions and judgments and projections, rejections, limitations, separations, computations, conclusions, confusions and illusions, all the things you're thinking, your thoughts are things. Those all have an energetic impulse. And guess what? It's in the head. So then we take that person that we've active listened to, which, we brought the presence. In my system, I'm going to teach you how to find out exactly what they want to experience on the table and then deliver it to them, not just start doing what you think they need. You're going to put them on the table, then you're going to touch them. Think about how many times a client has cried on your table with an emotional release or an energetic release. Crying is another way of exfoliating, right? It's another way of releasing. So everything in a facial and everything about being a human actually is about receiving, breath in, releasing, breath out. So that's the two-way street. That is the energetic hygiene loop. Hygiene is also nourishing and receiving, right? So breathing in and breathing out. So everything is about receiving, right? You received that information from the client, you listened, you were able to receive what she needed, put her on the table. You're going to be receiving more information when you touch your head. Hey, that's how I got into spiritual aesthetics in the first place. I closed down my bigger practice, Mendocino Beauty, where that's a whole other thing. I won't get into that. Anyways, I had a work hard, play hard, stressful spa with a ton of employees and bad boundaries, and I was very stressed. And then a big life circumstance happened, and my husband built me a little cabin on our property out of 3 old garden sheds, and there was a lot of magic in there. And then back there, that's when I would start touching people and I would start getting so much information, right? I was starting to become psychic. I was starting to be able to play the skin like a violin. It would buzz and it would hum for me. But one of the main reasons I think that I was able to go to that next level is that I was starting to practice energetic hygiene. So my channel became very, very clear. So if you've ever felt like, oh, if you're already practicing like a holistic or energetic Reiki, anything like that, if you're already extremely magical, then you have probably felt like there were times that like, oh, you've lost your magic or you've been a little irritable or a little heavy or a little puffy or just not connected, then that's your sign that all you really need to do is up the energetic hygiene. Now, back to energy as a two-way street. If we're cleaning that energy, right? If we're cleaning off all the yesterday's thoughts, feelings, all the things I just mentioned, the projections, rejections, all the thoughts and the mental chatter, we've cleaned that, we've woken up. Hopefully we've done a power hour or some sort of like self-fulfilling ritual in the morning, in that liminal space. Another really important part of the energetic hygiene in the two-way street will become grounding. So we have heard all about grounding, right? We know that we need to stand outside with our feet in the ground and all of the different things, and we need to get those ions flowing up to help neutralize all of the free radicals and the things, but it's not necessarily going to be um, something that you can do easily, putting your feet in the dirt, right, every single day. So how else are we grounding? One thing that you can do is do your facials with no shoes on, putting your feet on the ground, having a grounding moment with your client where when you start the facial, something that I do is I always invite us to leave everything that we just talked about outside the door and really help your client sort of transition into being able to receive. She just released, right? She just told you what was going on with her. And now she wants to be able to receive. So that means that you become really adept at the art, science, and magic of these transitional liminal spaces. So there's a lot of scientific research that when we walk through a doorway, our brain changes. We go into a different brainwave state. So I want to keep bringing this back to science and new science for you. So we're not keeping this in the woo-woo realm. You know, I've been ensconced in New Age since I was a little girl, and I definitely want to keep this in the spiritual scientific realm so that we can take it really seriously and onboard it, not only for ourselves, because what we're going to end up doing is helping our clients have better energetic hygiene at home, right? So if we're teaching them how to clean their skin and do their face at night and in the day, the hygiene conversation is really, really important. Okay, so we know how showing up to work and showing up in the world, waking up in the morning with no residue of yesterday's chaos is really, really important. And if you're already showering at night, this is not an everything shower. This is a quick shower or bath. It's not washing the hair, it's just washing the face and doing the salt ritual and, you know, envisioning the day going down the drain. We can code water. I have a whole course on water magic. We can intend into our water, but we've showed up with our clean, fresh energy, and now we're in the consultation area having that conversation. Then we have done the facial. Now there's another liminal space coming up, isn't there? We're going to be charting at some point, maybe when she's under the LED light. We're going to be washing our hands many times. We're always going to be washing our hands. And if you're a glover, then you're going to be changing your gloves, obviously. So this is a gloves off practice, but when you're washing your hands, every time in between, you want to create that hand washing as a ritual. So whether that's just engaging the quantum side of your brain or the quantum part of your brain, the quantum processor by visualizing. Visualizing is incredibly important. And I'm going to teach you how to do it eventually. So even if that's just a visualizing that the water is running all of the energy out of your hands and down the sink, just sort of passing the water over, obviously doing the good wash, but then just passing the water over. I like to do my wrists. So that's another way that we can close the energy down from that facial. And then what do we do in between our clients? How are we going to make sure that our cup is refilled for the next client while we've done our energy, we've done our hand washing, right? Well, maybe we have a Palo Santo spray for the treatment room, just in the four corners. I don't like to burn it because that's too smoky and pollution for the room. But you could also just use a rose spray. I think all of us, especially holistic estheticians, are obsessed with this rose spray. This is a fantastic, rose is a fantastic clearing uh, substance. You can also imagine, back to our quantum processor, you can imagine that there are roses in each four corners of your room, and pretend or imagine, same thing, that those roses are absorbing and pulling like a vacuum would all of the energy and recycling it, reducing it, reusing it, renewing it, regenerating it, and cleaning it just like a breath does. We really want to get away from this bad energy, good energy dynamic. Okay, that's old-fashioned, and it's literally two-dimensional. We want to get more into the five-dimensional. And the more the more we get outside of this regular dimension, this 3D dimension, the more that we are going to see that the goods and the bads and the rights and the wrongs and the ups and the downs and the yeses and the nos and the blacks and the whites and the polarities are not necessary. We get to have a both and we get to have it all, right? So one of my clients, who is a celebrity esthetician in New York City, said the best, she said on our session yesterday, the best part of working with me is that she gets to have it all. And I love that, because yes, you do. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of tools. Are you guys ready for a few more tools? So you may notice that I have a big glass of water here with some citrus, and I also have some salt in this. I put an extra little titch in when we were talking about the shower. Drinking an electrolyte drink is going to help your body process and really channel all of your energy more efficiently. And that is important, because if you want to really have the big downloads and be able to pull energy into your hands and move the face and do so many amazing things with the face with just your hands and your intentions, then you want to have your own energy field really dialed up, really dialed in, really optimized. And electrolytes help you do that. The electrolytes not only help your hydration like move around your body more, but it helps you have more energy, more cellular energy. I have so many wonderful things to teach you about cellular energy, so stay tuned. But let's just leave it at that. So we know how important hydration is, but just drinking water is not the best way to hydrate yourself. We want to be optimizing the fourth state of our inner water, and an electrolyte is going to help do that. Not only that, but this water has been coated. It has, it's not just regular water. So we'll talk about that as well. But I want to end with one more tool. And of course, this is an ongoing conversation. I could think of a million more things to say about this, but looks like we're already 45 minutes in. And so I think let's end today. This is only the beginning of Skin Church. I'll be going live every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. So not next Wednesday, but the following. And Skin Church will also have something for everyone, because really underneath every esthetician and every beauty professional is also a woman who is aging and who has a relationship with beauty herself. So we're going to be having a both and audience here. We're going to have women of all professions. But I have a feeling that I also have a lot of leaders, feminine radiance leaders, other witchy, magical women that might not necessarily be an esthetician, but are working in the energetic field. So we'll have all sorts of things for everyone in Skin Church. And this last tool is going to be wonderful for everyone I just mentioned. And that comes from a body of work called Access Consciousness. If you don't know about it, check it out. I am a big fan. I have been doing it for many, many moons, and I find their tools really, really helpful because it's not a dogma. It's not, a belief system. They're just helpful tools and practices to really work with energy on just a more meaningful, quick way. It just works as if by magic. So this is return to sender. Return to sender with consciousness attached. So you can use this anytime somebody says something to you that creates a little feeling in your body, like, oh, it creates a little trigger, a physical trigger. You could just do this during your hand rinsing. Return to sender with consciousness attached. You could do this while you're falling asleep. You could return your whole day to sender. That might really improve your dreams. You can use it when you are dealing with an unhappy client without taking it personally. It's really just saying that you're keeping your little side of the street clean, which is your little 3-foot biofield energy bubble. Return to sender. Return to sender. Return to sender with consciousness attached. I'm just doing my biofield and I'm making sure to have my own back by going all the way behind me. So often we're doing energetic things right in front of us, but there's a whole circle. We're in the center of that circle. So let's end with a little energetic activation of the circle. I love going live because I get access to all sorts of fun ideas and feel like this information is just really ready to be shared out. And the world, we need this. We need humanness. We need these soft skills. We need to lean into the invisible so that we can make visible, our richest and most radiant life more than ever. So just find yourself all the way in your body. I'm just doing a little deep sighing, and that's also an energetic hygiene technique. Cleansing breath. All the things I was trying to remember to say. Just pull your attention inside of your body. So instead of meditating by like leaving our body and going out into the space, let's meditate our body. Let's get into our body. So come all the way into your body. Imagine that you've just become a little molecule and you've just slipped down a little slide at the very crown of your head. Boop. And now you're sitting somewhere in your skull, beneath your brain. Maybe you are immediately able to see the veins and the blood and the channels, the lymph, all your inner cellular, inner highways, muscle and bone and fascia. Don't be afraid to just look around. And what we're going to do now is just some meaningful, conscious body scanning. And when I say conscious, I mean we're going to be here now. We're not going to be using the word conscious to mean if a product is sustainable or not, like, oh my God, that's got to end. But conscious as consciousness. Really just feeling into your body. How does your body feel? Do you feel any movements, the beating of your heart? I just want you to scan into your body. You can slowly just spiral down through your neck, jumping into the heart cavity, jumping into behind the ribs, checking out your heart. Just giving your own body the gift of presence. Feeling your feet on the ground. I don't have any shoes on because I was grounding so that I could stream this to you. Coming down into your stomach and your womb. Feeling any little gurgling or just noticing, witnessing, locating any little areas where you may have tucked away worry, doubt, stress, or pain or energy that didn't belong to you. Go ahead and just scanning and just witnessing, noticing, and locating. That's all we have to do to completely dissolve it and dissipate it, relax it and release it back to its original program of perfection. It's just shining the light of our awareness and then using simple rituals just to support it in between to bring consciousness inside of our body. And our body is an amazing community. It's an amazing system, closed system that already knows how to release what it doesn't need any longer, to relax and release it out of the system, and then to receive what it does need. Your body is the miracle, and your body already knows how to do all of that. So keep scanning down, and you can split your awareness down your legs. Notice how it's easy for you to do that because wherever you go, there you are. And it occurs to me that there will be a second episode of this because I'm thinking of so many more ways that you can practice energetic hygiene. But this was a good start. So you can, if your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and open your eyes. And I just wanted to send some appreciation to you for showing up for yourself and for me and listening to these interesting points of views and these whole new perspectives around beauty. You are the leading edge. You are the 1%. So I really want to acknowledge you and appreciate you for, being willing to look at things in different ways and also to be willing to show up and shine and be visible with this information for your own clients, because I've been saying that the wave is coming and the wave is here. All of this stuff is already being talked about in, scientific circles and biohacking circles and energetic circles. And it is available to us to onboard inside of our skincare practices. And I have built a whole entire methodology around it that I'm so excited to share with you. So if you haven't already, sign up for the 3 Mirrors of Personal and Professional Radiance. That's the free training that's happening this coming Sunday, the 12th at 9 a.m. Pacific. It'll probably be 2 hours. We'll be in the Zoom room together. You can ask me questions and I will reveal the 6-month program that is opening up as soon as we do the class. I will be opening it up for registrations, and you'll find out more about the magic of having me support you in not only your body and your business, but your brand. So it would be my honor to help you shift the way that you feel about your own face, the face of your brand, and the way you face the world. So on that note, I will say goodbye. This has been really fun. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. Okay.